The way I look at it now is at
Okay.
any point of time, you're sitting on a portfolio of growth opportunities.
Hmm.
Now, it's similar to a portfolio of a fund manager.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is each of these assets in your portfolio or each of these tactic or channel in your portfolio will have a different return window and there's a different level of risk associated with it.
Okay.
There's going to be risk always, right? Because if there's no risk, there's no reward. Each channel is going to have some amount of risk.
Hmm.
Now, and each channel is going to have some amount of scalability, and each channel is going to have some amount of mean time to conversion. What I mean by that is not every channel is going to give you results as soon as you start working on it.
Okay.
But what you need to ensure is you have a portfolio that is forward looking and based on like classic portfolio theory, some things would perform, some things would not. You should be able to carry a portfolio with you that delivers growth in short term, mid term, and long term.
Okay. So like we have established that we obviously need to have multiple channels for your lead gen, right? But as you mentioned, how do we associate risk to these channels, like channels and risk? How do we look around that?
That's a very good question because there's no exact science on how you would do it. Risk is really the variability of reward, correct? That's how you would
Right.
see it.
Right.
So, if you ask any statistician, what he will tell you is risk is really about how much is the reward, and then what's the expected value of the reward, and then what's the spread around it.
Right.
For example, is your reward going to be between 8% to 12%, or is your reward going to be between 1% to 20%,
Hmm.
right? So the second one is a scenario where there's more high risk and more reward. So that's how I would see risk really. You have to look at each of these channels and then understand what is the expected value you can get out of it, and then what is the variance or what is the spread of that expected value.
Okay.
So if you drew a normal distribution curve or a bell curve,
Sure.
then you could say that let's assume two channels and let's assume channel one and channel two. Both of them have the almost same expected reward.
Right.
For some hypothetical converse metric, let's assume the rewards are 100 each.
Okay.
But on channel one, your bell or your spread is more. So you see that your 3 sigma means are at 30-30. So that means that your reward can vary from 30 to 170.
Okay.
Okay, the mean is at 100. For channel 2, that let's say that the delta that you have is 50. So then your reward can vary from 50 to 150. So now you have, if you draw two normal distribution curves,
Hmm.
in one curve you have the bell is thicker than the other curve. So based on that, you should be able to understand like, okay, channel 1 is more riskier than channel 2. Channel 1 may have more high reward because channel 1 can go up to 170 while channel 2 can go up to only 150.
Hmm.
But channel 1 is more riskier than channel 2 because channel 1 can also go as low as 30, whereas channel 2 will go as low as 50.
Okay.